Welcome back to the WTF is Going On podcast. I got a really special podcast for y'all. It's my Grandpa Cook. Oops, 12:30. So, yeah, it's my grandpa, and I'm super excited to get my grandpa on the podcast for y'all, because I think he's a pretty special man, and yeah, I'm super excited to get at it today. So, you want to introduce yourself, Grandpa?
Hello, my name's Joe Cook, Caden's grandpa.
Yeah, for my dad, or for my mom's side.
Yeah, on his mom's side.
Yeah, it's my mom's dad, my mom's father, I guess, if you will. But so a big reason why I wanted you on the podcast is because you were the mayor of New Plymouth, right?
Yes, sir.
So walk me through kind of like automatically, like, how long were you the mayor for, and like also I wrote down a couple questions, but I remember writing down a question is like kind of explain how being the mayor was compared to your like other jobs, you know what I mean? So,
okay.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, it was totally different than any other job that I've had.
Yeah.
Kind of got prepared for it a little bit, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Local politics.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me. I was on the school board here in town for 9 years, in the city council for 4 years. And while I was on the city council, I kind of got the impression there was a lot of things that needed to be improved on.
Mm-hmm.
Mostly just public relations with the people in town.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people didn't have a clue what goes on at City Hall.
Yeah.
The only reason they come to the city council meetings is to complain normally.
Mm-hmm.
So we tried to eliminate that. And during my 8 years as a mayor, I think we did a really good job.
I think so too.
So we didn't have any problems. We probably had a few, but nothing remarkable.
Right.
But I found out that if you wanted to make the city or the citizens of the city happy or content,
Mm-hmm.
if you could manage somehow to get clean water into their house and dirty water out of their house, pretty much you made a friend with everybody. And that's what we concentrated on that. Had a
That's kind of hilarious.
super heads up superintendent of public works.
Yeah.
That really helped. He was somebody I had a long-term relationship with. I coached him in baseball and football.
Oh, cool.
During his junior high and high school years, so we got along well together.
Didn't you coach the team with Uncle Brad when they won the state championships? Mm. Didn't they win state?
Yeah, state in baseball.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
And you were their coach at the time? Dang, that's cool.
Yep. So, I think, if you get the opportunity to give back to your city, wherever you live, it doesn't matter where you live.
Yeah.
Just consider it.
Right.
You might have something to offer that you don't even realize.
Yeah.
Just take an interest. All politics are local.
That's for sure.
And,
just gotta do the research, right?
Yep. So if you don't take interest in where you live, your community, and your school, you shouldn't complain.
Right.
Things go sideways.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome. I really wanted to get that perspective from you, because, like, I hear a lot from Mom, and, from, like, her siblings, so I'm like, all right, I kind of need something, like, I need to film something to kind of get your perspective on it, because I've always, like, wondered, I've always had these questions before. And capturing it is cool because, it gives the people a better understanding of what goes on in local politics, because people have, like you said, zero clue. So it's like,
Make yourself available and make yourself seen. Get out and visit with the people. You'd be surprised with what they got to talk about.
Right. Yeah.
It's educational.
Yeah.
And a lot of times you'll think, gee, how'd I miss that?
I get it. That's funny.
Yep.
Well, so when were you born?
1943.
Dang. The good times, eh? How was growing up? Like, how expensive was things back then in comparison to now?
Comparison to now?
Yeah.
I'm sure you've heard this story, but it's true. I can remember when gasoline cost 25 cents a gallon.
Yeah, that's crazy to me.
Me and 2 or 3 of my buddies would get together and have $5 worth of gas, and we could cruise around all weekend.
Dang, that's cool. Dude, that's pretty epic. Wow. How long was, like, the economy like that for? For, like, a good solid 20 years?
Oh, yeah, I think it started going down. That was in the late 50s,
Yeah.
early 60s.
Okay.
So probably the 70s and 80s it started heading in the other direction.
Interesting. I guess what kind of... I mean, because I know... Where you... what city and state are you from, Grandpa?
I was born in Alton, Illinois.
Oh, okay, Alton.
And I grew up in the St. Louis area, which was right across the Mississippi River from Alton.
Yeah, so that's the place with the big arc, right?
Yep.
Oh, okay, cool.
So, yeah, spend most of my time in St. Louis.
Nice. St. Louis is fun. I don't know anyone from there, but I definitely want to visit sometime soon.
Grew up living and watching baseball.
Right.
Was our big deal in those days.
Yeah.
Playing and watching, going to the Cardinal games.
Nice.
And was fortunate enough to see a lot of the great ball players play.
Like who?
Willie Mays.
Nice.
Caden's actually named after Willie Mays. His name is Caden Mays.
Yeah.
Rodriguez. I didn't do that. His mom did.
Right. It fits well.
But he was, in my opinion, the greatest baseball player that ever lived.
Yeah, I agree. Didn't he have like a crazy catch or something like that?
Yeah, in the 1954 World Series.
Dang.
I'm sure you probably all seen it.
Mm-hmm.
It's called the greatest catch that was ever made. My two sons, Sean and Brad, and I.
And my uncles.
Yeah, we became uncles. We went to the Baseball Hall of Fame a few years ago.
In New York?
Cooperstown, New York.
Nice.
And the glove that Willie Mays made that catch with is actually on display there.
Oh, cool.
And I was blown away about how small it was compared to the gloves that the guys use today.
Dang.
It was pretty amazing.
Dang, I didn't even know that. Like the glove sizes were super small back then. So that made it harder to catch, right?
I would think.
Right. I think so too.
Yeah. But yeah, it was kind of fun. And we got to see Hank Aaron, Willie Mays, Roberto Clemente,
Dang.
Bob Gibson. A lot of great ball players I got to see.
Nice.
Mickey Mantle.
That's cool.
Yep.
You're also really big into music too, aren't you, Grandpa?
Yep.
What kind of music do you
is what
listen
it's
to?
all about.
Mm-hmm.
Real rock and roll.
Oh yeah.
Not just some of this crap you hear today.
Like the death metal stuff, like.
Yeah.
Like I don't think that's rock and roll for sure.
Yeah. Cream, the band, Eric Clapton, Ray Charles.
Ray Charles is the best.
Ray Charles is my first concert I ever.
What?
Live concert.
Are you kidding me?
Nope. St. Louis, about
Ray Charles in
probably
St. Louis.
1960. And a buddy of mine went and saw it. It was just pretty amazing.
Yeah, tell me how it was.
Oh, it was great, man. We loved every minute of it.
Yeah, I bet.
Jackie Wilson was kind of the warm-up entertainer before Ray came out.
Yeah.
Jackie Wilson pretty much stopped the show.
Right.
First time I ever saw Jackie Wilson was on the stage, and first time I ever saw it, women were actually taking their undergarments off and throwing them onto the stage.
Oh my goodness.
Yep.
At Ray Charles?
No, at Jackie Wilson.
Oh, okay, because I was about to say, if they're throwing at Ray Charles, you couldn't even see it.
It was funny. We laughed about that. Never saw that before.
That's funny.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. And I, needless to say, grew up during the Vietnam era.
Right.
Which is still, I'm still trying to wrap my head around that. I don't understand what was going on.
Yeah, we could get into it, but it's all technically quote unquote conspiracy, so we'd have to say allegedly after every sentence.
Yeah.
We don't want to get sued.
All I know for sure is 59,000 guys went over and never came back. Or if they came back, it was in a body bag or in a box.
Mm-hmm.
And what do we get? What do we get out of it? Nothing.
There was a big hippie movement back then, right?
Yep. Oh yeah.
Yeah, and like Muhammad Ali, like he got stripped of his title because of it.
Yeah.
And in his prime too.
Oh yeah.
He was in his prime, and then he got stripped of his heavyweight belt because of what he stood for. He didn't want to go to war.
Yep.
Pretty fascinating, huh, Grandpa?
Yep. His line was that those Vietnamese never done anything to me, so why should I go over and try to kill them?
Mm-hmm.
He was right.
For real.
And he stood by it. He lost a lot of money and lost his championship. He eventually gained it back.
Yeah.
But
yeah. Muhammad Ali is definitely one of my heroes. Like, growing up, I watched him a lot. And, like, I studied him in, like, high school and stuff.
really, yeah.
Yeah. And he's a really fascinating guy. And then didn't he recently passed away, didn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. When he passed away, I was really sad, but he had, like, Parkinson's and stuff, so.
Yeah.
But I think Muhammad Ali was one of the greatest of all time, only because, like, he stick and moved. He was, like, I think his famous line is, like, sting like a butterfly or something like that, you know what I mean? But anyways, I think he's the greatest because what he stood for, also out of the ring, like on the inside and on the outside, you know, that's why I think he's the greatest of all time, but that's my opinion.
Well, he had his principles, and he stood up for it, you know? And, he was definitely the best boxer I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And I've seen
You've seen him?
Huh?
You've seen him box?
Uh-huh.
Like live or no?
No, not live.
Okay. I was about to say, dang, Grandpa.
No, never saw that. Never got to see that.
Mm-hmm.
But I did get to see Sonny Liston, who
cool.
was Ali beat up on him pretty good. Got to saw him work out live.
That's cool.
Sonny Liston at a YMCA.
Oh, nice.
Punching that speed bag. I never seen anything like it.
Mm-hmm.
And skipping rope.
Yeah, skipping rope is crazy.
He skipped rope to a James Brown tune called
nice.
Night Train.
Yeah.
And he would he never batted an eye. It was like looking at a machine.
Mm-hmm.
And you look, and he was ginormous. Oh man, he was big. And I thought there's no way that Ali's going to be able to beat him.
Yeah.
There's nobody who can beat that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Sonny Liston grew up in and around St. Louis.
Dang.
He got in some trouble with the cops.
Yeah. Interesting.
Cop tried to arrest him one time, or I guess maybe they did finally arrest him, but he took the cop to the ground and put his leg up on the curb and stomped on it.
Dang.
Broke his ankle.
The cop's ankle?
Yeah.
Holy crap.
Yeah, so back in those days they didn't shoot.
Probably some little twig.
Ask questions. They tried to handle the situation. But
that's funny.
He thought he could overpower Liston, I guess. And boy, it didn't work out too good.
Dang, back in the good old days, you could do that, bro.
Yep.
Not get shot. That's kind of funny.
Yeah, different time today.
Mm-hmm.
If a cop asks you to do something,
you got to do it.
You better do it.
Mm-hmm.
And just bite your tongue and live another day.
Facts. That's word to the wise, huh?
Yeah, that's what I would recommend.
Yeah, that's what Grandpa Dick James Anderson, Grandpa James, he tells us that all the time. Because
Really?
he was the chief of police in Oakland.
Yeah.
So whenever he tells us to anything about the law, he's like, just listen. Like, that's why you have the law, to protect you.
Yep.
But
there'll be a time in your life that you'll need the police, or you might.
That's why. What's your opinion on the defund the police stuff, Grandpa?
It's insane.
It's insane. It's crazy.
Have you noticed how that's kind of gone full circle?
Yes.
A lot of those people that was trying to defund the police, now they want to give more money to the police.
Exactly.
Because
so they can get better training.
Because their communities are
just on fire.
Yep. Yeah. They need the police.
Yep. Yeah, and then we don't have to obviously I want to talk politics because you're a politician in my opinion, but I just think it's fascinating how the politics have been in recent coming times. Do you think, in your opinion, that the 2020 election was stolen?
No.
Oh, okay.
I don't think so.
That's good.
Every time, in every recount that they got done, there was no sign of fraud or nothing else. Those people that work at those polling places, the election workers, that look at your ID and give you your ballot to vote. Yeah. They're underrated. They should be, especially now in the environment the way it is. Yeah. Everything is so hostile. Those people get death threats and, come on. Yeah. Idiotic. Right. Take advantage, vote, but don't try to strong arm anybody. Yeah. Just because they have a different opinion than you do
Yeah.
You know, come
Seriously.
on, suck it up.
I know, right? Like, that's why it's weird to me how, like, we can't debate each other anymore. I'm like, what are we doing? That's the bread and butter of, our political, our political system is debate, is being able to debate a subject.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And, like, nowadays we can't even debate, like whether or not, like, I don't know, like, we can't debate anything, like, well, let's just say, for example, abortion. Like, in my opinion, I don't think a man should choose, like, to be, like, you know, like, a man shouldn't, like, control a woman's body. That's my opinion. Right. And I understand abortion's looked at it, like, in a whole different ways, and we don't have to get into it, but abortion's a good example of, like, what we can't debate. And that's why it's been so, like, the Roe v. Wade and everything else has been so, like, standstilly, because, like, it's just bickering, it's just barking, you know, nothing's getting solved. So.
Absolutely right. Myself, I guess you'd say I was anti-abortion. I don't know,
mm-hmm.
but it's not my call.
Right.
You know, it should be the woman's. You know.
Yeah.
Instead of abortion, maybe they should concentrate on birth control a little closer.
Right.
And you might not have that problem.
Exactly. Right.
You know.
Mm-hmm. And then yeah, exactly. But you know, I mean, yeah, the world is a little interesting to say the least when you start to do research, and that's why they say ignorance is bliss, is because, like, if you know, it's like, dang, that's kind of tough, you know what I mean? But the biggest issue, in my opinion, with America is the health system and, like, the pharmaceutical companies. I think they're taking advantage over, like, us middle class people. We can't even get insurance, and then on top of that, like, people who need medicine, like you and grandma, get fucking raped up the ass by, like, prices because, well, you guys need it. So of course they know that. So when there's a demand, they're gonna make it super expensive. That's just, I don't get that, and I think that's terrible.
The federal government has way too much power, and they're involved in things that I don't think they need to be involved in.
Right.
But you also need them. I mean, you know, like the military and you know, there's a lot of stuff. You know.
Yeah, it's not like you can't abolish democracy or whatever. No. You know what I mean? You might be able to reform it, but then that's scary because they want to get rid of the Constitution, and then when they want to start getting rid of the Constitution, then that's
not going to work.
Not going to work.
Yeah, it's never going to happen. Just like gun control. In my opinion, they'd be better off to enforce the laws that are on the books.
Yeah,
they're there. Just enforce those laws.
Those like ancient books, right?
Just like the immigration thing, the border, in Mexico.
Yeah.
Along that southern border, you know, just enforce the laws you have.
Yeah.
And you got people here that are not citizens.
Right.
And maybe snuck across. But they're here, they're working.
Yeah.
I mean, most of them are. I mean, there's a few thugs, you know, what are you going to do?
I'd say like 95% of them are working.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And this latest idea of rounding up millions of them, that's BS.
Yeah, because it's funny too, because like the conspiracy is, I guess, is like the recent administration was trying to like bring in a whole bunch of immigrants so that they can vote for them, but they voted for Trump anyways. So
yeah, I don't think that it ain't gonna work.
It's not gonna work.
No. Well, we'll find out. See what Trump does. He's made a lot of noise. Let's see what he can do.
Yeah.
Basically, he's saying the same thing now that he said last time when he was in office, and he didn't do crap. I mean, you know.
Did you see his cabinet?
Yeah.
Pretty crazy, huh?
A whole bunch of billionaires.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah. Elon Musk. There's RFK Jr., Tulsi Gabbard. Vivek's one of the billionaires too.
Those three you just named, they're, in my opinion, they're clowns. All three.
You think so?
Yeah.
You know who Tulsi Gabbard is?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh, okay. She's like Hawaiian. And she stood up for Maui, and she got like shut down for it. And then she also stood up to like Hillary Clinton, and then because she would try to run for president when Hillary Clinton was running, and she was the fan favorite, so they shut her down.
Yeah.
So that's just about Tulsi. But now she's like, I don't know what her role is exactly, but she's a pretty cool character. I read her book. She was cool. I think she's cool.
She's got some questions to answer.
True.
Because she was a big Assad fan in Syria.
Type.
You saw how that worked out. they overthrew the government and kicked him out.
Yeah.
After he slaughtered God only knows how many people.
Yeah. Well, it's going to be interesting to say the least. I think this cabinet is better than the last one, but
yeah.
we'll see. We'll see.
We'll see what they do.
We'll see what they do.
Yeah. That's Trump line. He always says that. Well, we'll see.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. We'll see.
Mm-hmm.
I remember in his first go-around, he was going to build a wall across the southern border of Mexico.
Great Wall of
China. I don't think Mexico.
He's up there doing stand-up comedy, bro.
Yeah. But, that's so much of what goes on and what is said is just a bunch of hot air.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember who said this, but they said...
Hi, Grandma.
The expression was...
I'm not on that camera, am I?
I mean, you don't have to be all cut.
After
you
all
look good, though.
After all is said and done, more gets said than what gets done. That's kind of what you got to do.
Yeah.
Just take everything that these guys are telling you. Just
right.
Wait and see.
Yeah. Yeah, I take everything with a grain of salt, with politicians, news. I mean, everybody, you know what I mean? You kind of have to do your own research at the end of the day to really understand the subject, right?
That's something there that really irritates me with our national politics.
Right.
Maybe even the state level too, but it's you got more access to the state people, but the federal level, these congressmen and senators, they get elected, and you never hear from them again. What are they doing?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Let's.
And also, not to diss on your guys' generation, because I think you guys did a great job, but you see like people who should be retired that are still in Congress. You know what I mean? I'm like people are falling asleep. Like this is important things that need to be discussed. You know what I mean? And that's why I think it's interesting, like the kind of era we're in now, where, like, of course I respect my elders, but we know that like Sleepy Joe is Sleepy Joe. You know what I mean? Like he's not like Joe Cook, but he's like Joe Biden. You know what I mean? And, like, I don't know. You know what I mean? So that's just my opinion about the recent administration. But
what I think he should have done was he got elected, which kind of surprised me. Mm-hmm. But he should have made it known, I'm going to be here 4 years and I'm gone.
Yeah.
And that, it'd have been fine. Mm-hmm. And then it would have given the Democrats the opportunity to,
right,
find a better candidate than Harris.
Yeah.
I kind of thought maybe she would win.
I thought Harris had a good chance too.
Yeah, I did too, but she didn't. If you're going to run against Trump, man, you got to get down and dirty.
Mm-hmm. You got to play ball.
Yep, you got to play hardball because that's Trump is. He just sucks the air right out of the room.
Yeah, he does.
And it's been going on for how long now? 8, 12 years?
Mm-hmm.
And he don't get tired. He just keeps
going.
Know.
I don't know what they have him on, bro.
Yeah, he must be having something good.
For real. But yeah, he's a workhorse.
That McDonald's fast food must be pretty good.
His strict McDonald's diet that RFK is not going to get rid of.
Oh man, that's funny. I love that.
Such a good dynamic. But I don't know. I wanted RFK Jr. in office, and he became the health administrator. So I guess that's good enough.
Think he'll do a good job?
Yeah, I think so. I think he's for the people, but we'll see.
I'm a little concerned about his anti-vaccination theory. I don't buy that.
Yeah, his anti-vax stuff is very interesting. It's because he did a lot of research, and so his background. So yeah, RFK's background, he was like a health / he was like a health lawyer basically, So he was doing all these cases, like for example, companies were dumping stuff into the river in New York.
Oh, yeah.
And he helped solve that problem, through the law, being a lawyer, to help the water and also to stop the contamination in the river. That's just for example. So he does that stuff like that, which not only protects the environment, but also protects the people's water.
Yeah.
And so on and so forth.
Well,
so it's like...
I'm all for that.
Exactly. So it's like, I understand like people's opinion about him with like the vaccines because, well, they're not researched, especially the recent vaccines that were created. They need to be more researched, in my opinion, too, before they're ever given to a human.
I think they are.
Well, not the mRNA ones. They weren't. They're a recent like genetic kind of vaccination. And I don't know too much. I don't have a PhD, so obviously don't listen to fucking me. But but like the fact of the matter is that these mRNA vaccines weren't researched that much. Like for example, they only did like for these vaccines. I'm not sure if this is true, but if it is, that's crazy. They only did tests on 2 mice with these mRNA vaccines. So it's like, is that real testing, or is it like, okay, let's use this vaccine on people and see what the outcome is, and then fix the vaccine later? That's what I kind of see it as, but maybe I'm wrong. I don't know.
I just know that there's a lot of vaccines that kids get before they start school.
Right.
You know,
Like,
measles,
yep.
tetanus, whooping cough,
Right.
polio.
For real.
I had a cousin that had polio.
That's no joke, huh? That was real COVID.
That was real bad news.
Yeah.
She survived, but she has some issues because of it.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
I mean, some of these diseases that are coming back, they were wiped out at one time.
Yeah.
You know what's going on?
Well, yeah.
Are they coming across the border? People that are unvaccinated, and then get into the mainstream, or what's going on? There's something not right.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, so evolution's a thing. So we've evolved from apes, and viruses typically evolve too. That's why there's different variants of them, quote unquote. So it's like maybe we're just not putting enough funds into the right research. That's my guess, but I don't know. With COVID, it was so new that we kind of scrambled a lot. You know what I mean?
You had to.
Yeah.
People were dying right and left. Millions of people died because of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we still don't know for sure what the source was.
Right. Exactly.
There's speculation. You know, but
yeah.
it was real. You know, I mean,
it was real.
I mean, you know,
I graduated 2021. Honestly, I didn't go to college because of it. So I lost like my grades tanked because of it. So yeah.
Well, there's a whole generation of young kids that
couldn't learn the right way because of the masks.
Yeah, and not in school, had remote learning. That's not good. But we had to do something. We had to get a vaccine out there, and that's one thing I got a little bit of problem with Kennedy. His theory is that some of these vaccines cause autism.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Well, he's pumped that out there.
Yeah.
He's that's one of his things.
Like it's one of his theories or whatever. Oh, okay.
But it's been refuted. It's
right.
There's no that I know of anyway.
Right.
Known cases.
That's interesting. I forgot about that.
That had anything to do with autism.
Yeah.
So.
And honestly, it's probably still a theory until we do more research, in my opinion. But.
Well, it's been refuted by several doctors and scientists in England. That said,
okay.
It's not it. But,
right. Well, academia is a fun place.
If you tell a lie over and over and over again, and people believe it,
right, that
doesn't make it true.
Exactly.
Just because you're a dumbass and you believe it, and he's a dumbass for putting it out there.
Yeah, that's true.
And there's a lot of that goes on. A lot of the stuff that Elon Musk has been floating out here these last couple of weeks has been proven to be false.
Right.
But that's part of the social media thing.
Yeah.
People don't fact check. You gotta need more than one opinion.
Yeah. Seriously, you do need more than one opinion, and also the fact checkers need to be actual fact checkers, not some biased person, because that was the big issue with like the Twitter files. I don't know if you ever looked into that, but yeah, it's pretty interesting when you think about how free speech has gone down the fucking toilet. So that's why I really like Elon Musk, because he purchased Twitter, which he paid way too much for, and now we have a free a square, like a Times Square, where people can come and freely talk without being censored. You know what I mean? And then actually censoring the people that need to be censored, not people who are trying to talk about to discuss an issue. You know what I mean? But that's why I respect Elon Musk, because he did do that, and he had that sacrifice in purchasing Twitter. So, shout out Elon Musk. But like he's the busiest man on the planet in my opinion. You know, he's trying to go to Mars and all this crazy shit. So fucking, I don't even know what that guy's on. Is he like a freaking mad scientist?
I think his resources and talents could be put to better use right here in the United States.
Yeah.
But let's talk about homeless vets.
Mm-hmm. Homeless vets. He's gonna be the efficiency guy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Let's first of all, I think you need to.
Homeless vets, Grandpa. Get into that.
Huh?
I was just saying, get into homeless vets real quick before we end the podcast.
But he.
POW, right?
And not only homeless vets, but just homeless people in general. You know, a lot of those people created their own problem. You know, drugs, alcohol, prostitution, whatever. You know, they got wrapped up in.
Right.
But there's a lot of people that just had some bad luck.
Yeah.
And they need some help. Mm-hmm. You know, let's concentrate on that. You know, solve that problem.
Right.
Before we go to Mars, let's figure out what's going on here.
Right.
You know.
For real though.
I mean, really, think about it.
Seriously, like, especially because you think about how much, like, because they make a lot of resources off of homeless people. Mm-hmm. If you look into the research in California, especially, it's a business. Like the government supplies, you know, the union to help the homeless people with millions of dollars, and nothing gets done. These people have $200,000 salaries, and there's tons of homeless people out there, like a lot. So it's like, what are these resources actually going to? Well, their houses, their cars, not to the big people that people are actually suffering. You know what I mean? In my opinion, but
how about childhood hunger?
Yeah,
there's a lot of kids don't have enough to eat.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they go to school hungry.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of kids. The meals they get in the school lunchroom might be the only meal they have all day.
Yeah.
Yeah. Surely we could solve that problem.
Easily.
You know.
Easily. I mean, that these problems, though, would take generations to solve, in my opinion.
Yeah, I know.
So it's like, we need the right people, you know, at the right time, I think. You know what I mean? That's what I think. But
well, gun control is the same way.
Yeah, what do you think about gun control, Grandpa?
There should, well, first of all, there hasn't been a real workable solution proposed in the Congress in over 30 years. Really? So what are you talking about, gun control? Mm-hmm. How are you going to do it?
Not in America.
You're not going to.
There's more guns than people.
There is. There actually is.
Yeah.
So, and you're not going to take people's guns away. It's not going to happen. Yeah, you know, you can do background checks and stuff like that. But they still slip through the cracks. Mm-hmm. You know.
A big thing that people don't talk about too, Grandpa. Sorry to cut you off, but you know, like the SSRIs and these drugs that are being given to these children, and then like there is no like, oh, maybe they're doing these school shootings because of these drugs that they're on. There is none of that. There's none of that. It's always, oh, it's the guns issue. No, the gun's just a tool. A gun is a gun, yes, but it's a tool to protect your household. It's a tool to go hunt for food if anything did happen, and it just goes on and on. So it's like, yes, there needs to be gun control. However, you cannot take the Second Amendment away from an American citizen. So that's what I think, and I think the background checks need to be way more better, in my opinion too, because, you know, I purchased my AR-15 when I was 18, but I put it in a case and put it under my bed. I didn't pull it out and go to fucking school with it. You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck? But like, that's just my opinion, you know.
Well, if a bad guy wants to get a gun, he'll get a gun. Right. I'd almost guarantee you that a lot of these shootings, carjackings, this type of thing, you name it, just strong arm robberies or whatever. Right. I'll bet you 90% of those guys or more, they didn't buy that gun, they stole it from somebody. For real. Or if they bought it on the black market.
Yeah, from Russia or something.
Yeah, they got it from some gang. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can go right down, you can go to Boise, Caldwell, Nampa, Ontario, Oregon, anywhere. And if you know who to talk to, you can get a gun.
Yeah,
I mean, seriously. It's as simple as that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. And so that's not the solution.
Yeah, I agree.
in some of these mass shootings, school shootings and stuff like that, there's mental health issues there more than there are.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
I agree.
Let's talk about that.
Yeah.
You know, all these people that do that are batshit crazy anyway you look at it, man. There's something wrong with them.
Yes.
You know? They need to be treated.
Yes.
And I'm sure some of the drugs are on, like you say, you know.
Yeah. I don't know. They probably do help, but like, in my opinion,
if you take
I don't
them.
know. Yeah, right.
Yeah,
Exactly.
a lot
Or
of
if you take
people
them, you're off of them, then you're in this weird cycle, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's strange because like my ex-girlfriend, she was on the like all that stuff, and I told her for a long time, I think you should get off of it, because she never was the same person. Like, I met her when she was not on the drugs, you know what I mean? And then when she was finally off of the drugs, she was like a completely different person. Yeah. And whether or not that was good for her, I don't know. But I thought that was good for her that she was able to do that, because it was really hard for her, you know? And she's like a straight edge girl who, you know, like the hospice care worker, so she's just, you know, she's cool, but yeah, that's kind of like how I got introduced to like the whole pharmaceutical scene, was because of her, because she was, you know, had to go to therapy and stuff like that. So it's like, you know, it's interesting to say the least.
Yeah, it is.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's almost about that time, huh, Grandpa?
Sure.
I gotta go pee, so it's like
okay. Whatever you want to do.
Yeah. So you know, this probably won't be the last podcast with
Sounds
you.
okay to me. Whenever you want to talk, I'm always
right.
That's what politicians do. They talk.
Yeah. So
bullshit. How's that saying? Bullshit walks and money talks.
Yeah. Money talks and everything else walks.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, thank you for coming on the podcast. I didn't really ask. I just showed up with my cameras, but I appreciate your opinion. You know, I've always told you, you know, I've respected you so much because, you know, you were always there for us when we were growing up. So, and you know, you're the best. So I appreciate it.
Thank you. There's a
same with you, Grandma.
You know who Harry Truman is? He's president.
Yes, yeah, I know who Truman is.
I read a quote of his a few days ago, and I'd seen it before, but it refreshed my memory.
Mm-hmm.
He said when he was young and growing up, he said he had two things he thought he should be.
Mm-hmm.
He thought he wanted to be a piano player in a whorehouse or a politician.
That's hilarious.
He said right now, my way I'm looking at it right now, they're about the same.
Right.
So I thought that was funny.
Wow. That was interesting. So yeah, that's funny. But Ray Charles is the best.
Yep.
Freaking, if you don't know, now you know. Ray Charles is the best.
What I say. If you haven't heard that tune, listen to it.
Yeah, there we go.
Your foot don't start tapping, there's something wrong. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I've been listening to Hit the Road, Jack.
Yeah, that's a good
one.
Yeah.
But yeah. Yes, with Jamie Foxx, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm going to let y'all go. I'm going to talk to my grandparents. So.
Okay. Talk to you later.
Yes, sir. What the fuck is going on?
Rachel. Don't need any better than him. Probably easy for you to get out this way.
You're good, Grandpa. If you want to go back to your desk.
Yeah, I'm going to go take a whiz and I'm going to head back that way.
Sir.